Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we are back with another Veve and Ecomi video. And this one, we're going to be focusing on the Omi token. I know, as you can see, it's going down, man. It is really going down. It's not looking too hot right now. And people have been asking me my opinion, wanting me to address some things. We are going to address a comment from one of the homies as well from the YouTube channel. This is a comment that a lot of people agreed with, and it's like some uneasy feelings going on in the community, and it's well deserved. I completely understand. Starting off, we're gonna start off by just saying, like, the article, like the articles that's been promised time and time again is coming out next week. It's coming out, like, they have, as of lately, have not been really sticking to the things that they said was going to happen. And this is it's not that people would be upset with it if they didn't give a timeline. The problem is, one of the issues that this company has had from the beginning is they give timelines and they don't meet these timelines. If you're unsure that something's going to come up, if you know that the immutable transfer is difficult, it's going to take time, it's going to take resources, unknowns will come up. And they have said this, they have said unknowns will come up. So you know that anything can happen, but you still say, oh, we're going to get this article out to you next week. I mean, it's your fault for saying that. It really is your fault for saying that, because you know anything can happen. If you just say to the community, honestly, we don't know when we can get this article out. We don't know when we can focus on this, because anything can happen with Immutable. Things are going beautiful right now, but things could mess up. Then people won't expect it. People will be more understanding to be like, okay, they couldn't give us a date. We don't know yet. We have to wait till after Immutable. But when you say it's going to come next week, oh, it was some delays, it's going to come next week, more delays, okay, like, of course people are going to be pissed. So I feel like morale is down right now. Morale is down in the community for sure. When you don't have utility on your token and things like this right now, like, the token was so high, it was going up because everybody was excited about Immutable. Everybody was pumped up, and it was the time, it was the moment. But now you're having delays. The drop was absolutely madness today. Like, the drop, terrible. The drop, this is the worst drop we have had literally since I first joined the community. And that it's it. Now, like I said, I understand, like, I know that there's a lot of theories going around. To me, it felt like the same experience that I had way back. To me, it felt like that exact same experience. And I know that they have not been working on building up the back end because they're focusing on Immutable. I get that. But at the same time, you can't continue to make promises. So as far as the token goes, I think that, I mean, it's always room to go down when the token has no utility. We don't have anyone staking the Omi token right now. We don't have much utility or like no NFTs that you can buy using Omi. We don't have these abilities right now, these things that's going to keep the price to certain levels. We don't have these things in place right now. So the price can pretty much do anything. It goes with the feelings and the emotions and stuff of the community, of the investors, of the people who are holding this token. And if I see Ecomi looking like they're just making absolute dumb decisions, or just absolutely not keeping their word for a month straight, and then I see something like Shiba Inu popping off where you can make some quick returns, I mean, yo, I done made a little bag off Shiba Inu. I'm not gonna lie, like, I do, like, listen, and I do have the sole purpose of putting that into Omi, not back into Omi. I haven't sold any of my Omi, by the way. But I do have my purpose of getting that Shiba Inu was to get some profits, put even more in Omi, and secure my position even more, because I don't think that people are losing faith in the token or anything. It's that the token not doing nothing. You've been promising that you're going to start making these moves for how long, and something keeps coming up, and we get it. It's development. But how many times can you keep telling people things happen in development before they start to get frustrated? If things happen in development, give people something to look forward to. Like, you know that things happen in development. So you know that people's accounts have been restricted for weeks at this point in time. And whether they have done something wrong, whether they have done something, if somebody is being punished for something that they did, 3 weeks is a long time to go missing drops, missing all this exciting stuff. Like, honestly, I don't care if they did do something wrong. They should at least know that you caught them. Like, they should know that you caught them, or they should know that what they were doing was wrong if they had no idea to begin with. It's just too many things right now that the team is not doing very well. And you have to, like, at moments like this, you have to really you have to just keep it real. It's too many things going wrong at this point in time. So it's definitely understandable why the morale in the community, and this is why it's so easy as well for people to believe that there's bots running around rampant, because people are already upset for so many different reasons, and they all have the right to be. Anybody who's upset right now has valid reasons to be upset. It's like, what can you say? What can you say? Like, what can you, like, listen, they've been promising it for a month, but they'll one of their promises will be true. Like, what do you even say at this point? It's not like I know, like, I defend a lot of the things that goes on, but it gets to a point where you can't defend that. Like, I can't explain why they've been postponing things for a month. Like, I can't explain that away. It's like real people are being affected by these decisions that they're making, and the system that they're putting into place that they can't talk about because it'll alert. Like, let's say that you're putting a system into place to combat bots or something, and that's why people's accounts got restricted. Okay, I think some people would understand that, but why are drops continuing where these people who got caught in the crossfire are missing out? Are you going to give these people who are missing out on something big? Are you going to give them something big? Like just let people understand somewhat what's going on. What's going on with their investment. This is money that they're giving you. This is money that they're putting into your project. This is their time, their effort, their energy. This is damn near everything people have outside of family and loved ones, of course, and stuff like that. This is everything. People are giving their all to this company, and it's just so many uncertainties right now. We pretty much have answers to nothing. We're hearing the same vision. And at this point, everyone is in love with the vision. We love the vision. We believe in the vision. We believe in this. But if this aspect of the vision is taking so long, how do you convince people that creating a Veveverse to compete with Facebook that has 10,000 users, that's going to have 10,000 developers working on it? How, if you can't switch over, like if you can't migrate over to Immutable without it taking this long and being this many delays and things like that, how can you comfortably convince people that you'll be able to build a metaverse that's actually going to push this to where we know that it needs to be in order to get the returns that we're looking for? It's hard. It's getting harder and harder to ask people to believe in you, as long as you're continuing to do the same mistakes that you've been doing from the beginning. So I think that we are at a place where certain things need to be addressed. Certain things need to be answered. I get security reasons. Some things can't be talked about, but a little bit more. And honestly, in AMAs, there's a lot of frustration in the community. In AMAs, start asking the questions. Start asking the right questions. These guys are available all the time. The thing is, when people get into these chats with them, everybody's starstruck, asking simple questions or accepting any answer they give you, and you don't actually ask the question. Like, I have written so many times on Twitter to tell me some of the concerns, tell me some of the questions you have for the team and stuff like that, and then I barely get people who telling me anything. So I would be willing to ask these questions and get some answers for people, but it's just no one's asking the questions. Then you have people who are on their who on this like streak hating me or whatever, and so they don't tell me their questions, and then they're like, nobody asked questions. Then they go complain and they start spreading FUD because nothing's being addressed and they're not doing anything to get it addressed. And it's just a whole circle that keeps going around and around. So that being said, we're not going to have any stability with this token until the utility comes. When is the utility coming? We don't know. If they're this unstable, trying to switch over to Immutable, how can we believe they're going to get a Veveverse to match Facebook that's got 10,000 people working on it, and this team has what, less than 100 last time I checked? It's a lot of questions. It's a lot of question marks right now. So this is why people are more. This would be my assumption. My assumption is why people are backing off, trying to wait till they hear some answers and hear what is going on. Like usually when you want an answer from a company, if the money is being impacted, you you get these answers. And then if there's uncertainty around these NFTs. Are these latest NFTs going to, like, there's a whole different comic that's been minted into a different cover from this latest drop. It's like, is this going to be more valuable because of this mistake, or is it going to be worth absolutely nothing because of this mistake? And what about the actual comic that's in there? How does this drop? Like, are you going to drop the actual comic that's in there with the opposite cover? Like, how do you fix this? And if you fix this, is it actually an NFT? Because once it's been minted, do you have to remint these NFTs and redistribute? Like, what is going to happen? And if you have to remint these NFTs and redistribute, and you can do that, it's going to be the complaints that these are not real NFTs. You can't do that with real NFTs. Once it's done, it's done. It's just, it's a lot of it's a lot of reasons for people to be kind of bearish right now. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot of reasons. So I understand the frustration. Then he's the homie Hiplix just sent me a message that says, I just saw a tweet about Omi burns that made me uncomfortable. It said we burned 16 billion and the circulating supply is 217 billion. How is circulating supply 217 billion when it was like 186 back during the spring? Why is the circulating supply going up more than down? To my understanding, it's the founder token unlocks. The founder token unlocks is what's happening. And that's increasing the circulating supply. But yeah, I mean that I don't have the full answers and the full numbers. I don't study the charts numbers and things like that. I don't look at the circulating supply. Wherever you're getting the numbers from, something could be off. Like, I know some of the exchanges, a lot of the exchanges will have different numbers for the circulating supply. They measure it different ways, and so it's not consistent everywhere. It is kind of complicated depending on what source you're looking at. So yeah. Also 16 billion burnt. By the way, this is much higher than a lot of people was calculating that This is much higher than a lot of people was calculating. Was going to be burnt by this time. People were saying it was going to be way less than this that's burnt. But he says that's not many percentages at all of the total supply. If the Veveverse don't burn literally a ton, it'll take 40 years to cut the total supply in half. That being said, I do want to point out how what they have said, which I know it can be tough to believe or try to cling to some of the stuff that they've said, especially during this tough day, like this tough, I mean, it's been a tough month, really. It's been a tough month. But what they have said is that this is a gift shop. What we have right now, everything that everyone's so upset about, everything that everyone's going crazy about, all the stuff that we're panicking and stuff like that about, this is just a gift shop. So 16 billion from a gift shop, that's a huge amount for something that equates to nothing in the grand scheme of things. This has burnt a lot. So when you say that the Veveverse literally needs to burn a ton, that is literally the goal. They have said that that's their primary focus. That's the whole reason that the Veveverse exists, is because that is the main business. They've said themselves that what we have right now is a gift shop. So I wouldn't be like, I know that is nerve-wracking because from people's perspective, oh, the drops isn't working. Veve's never going to get to mass adoption. The drop isn't working. This is going to be the end of Veve. They looking at all the reviews on Apple and stuff like that. Look at what people are saying. It's like, this is the biggest thing in the world to people because it's the only option that we have when it comes down to Veve. When you hear about Veve right now, 100% of Veve is drops. It's drops in the secondary market. So when you take that into consideration, if you look back a year from now and like they have the Veveverse out, or 2 years from now, they have the Veveverse out, it's this big thing, it's as big as Disney World type of thing, and it's so many different things to do and stuff like that. A lot of people won't, like the part where people are hating today and unsure about today, most people won't even know about that. People are going to come in for the experience, not even realizing that there's a whole gift shop that they'll never even enter. Like, how many people go to a amusement park and theme parks and stuff like that and never go to the gift shop section ever? And that, I feel like that's what it's going to be like on Veve. It's going to be like that eventually, but we have to get there. And I know it can seem so far out of sight right now, but that is the goal. Like, so to say like it'll take literally it'll take a ton. It'll take like 40 years if they're not, like, I mean, the thing is, we don't know how the burns are going to be. We don't know what the burns are going to be. There's so much uncertainty, and I feel like a bulk of the problems going on right now in the community comes down to what we're all uncertain about, which is damn near everything at this point in time. So this is why, like, I know Hiplix, I see him comment all the time. He's not a hater or anything. Everyone is getting concerned. Like my homie Zaki, if you all saw my last video with Zaki that I did, like, he's not a hater. Like, we all love this project. This is genuine concerns. Like, everybody's getting uneasy right now because of the state of what's going on. And this is when you know that there's a problem with Veve and Ecomi. It's when the day ones are starting to question what the hell is going on right now. It's starting like, we need leadership. We need leadership. We need answers. We need direction. We don't need you to reveal your whole battle strategy, but we do need you to keep our hopes up and keep our faith up. And like, we need to know that you know what you're doing. Because you can't have Facebook out here announcing they getting an army of 10,000 people and you're out here struggling to put the right comic in the right drop. Like, it's just not a good look. It's not a good look at all. He said that's not even much price wise. Plus the price is going up, so it'll burn even less. That's true. But the point I was worried about is that the buybacks aren't happening. Why is that? The buybacks is going to be a small thing. The buybacks is going to be a very, very small thing. What they're doing with this utility, I'm pretty sure the bulk of the utility from the VVverse is meant to burn from circulating supply. And I was shocked that they started buyback so soon to begin with, because the point of the buyback is to replenish the reserve wallet, and the reserve wallet is full. It's like, so what are you having buybacks for anyway? There's no need for buybacks. So people want VV to buy back just for the sake of buying back. I don't think that they should have started buybacks as early as they did. I was honestly thinking that the reserve would take a huge hit before they ever started doing buybacks, but no, they announced it. And honestly, I think that they gave in to some pressure from the community because people wanted to see buybacks, but people didn't realize that buybacks was not going to be that big of a deal because of the reserve wallet is so high. It just does not make sense for them to be buying back at this stage. What they really need is the utility, the systems in place that's going to be burning and hitting that circulating supply, and that's going to be burning that reserve wallet, and that's going to actually be functioning the way that this app needs to function. So I think people are focusing on these things that really don't matter as much as you would think. Like the buybacks are not as important as it is for them to actually get features here that's going to be burning this massive amount of Omi. Because if you're depleting the reserve wallet, you have no choice but to buy back, or your app doesn't function. So I don't think the question should be what's going on with buybacks or why buybacks is not happening right now. The question should be, why isn't the app at a level where it's burning so much that you don't have a choice but to buy back? Those are the things that needs to be addressed. We need to get this utility going. We need to get the big problem going. Don't focus on a solution. Focus on the problem. The problem is we don't have these systems and these features that we've been promised. So that's what needs to be focused on. The utility. He said, isn't buybacks a part of tokenomics? That's supposed to be automatic. You buy something in the store, 100% burns, 10% buyback. Buybacks can't be a thing that happens only when Dan wants it to happen. That's weird. They say the AMA that, yeah, we burn 100% and 10 goes back to the buybacks, but it isn't happening. And apparently the money they've made won't go to buybacks. So that's a fucking lie in that case. The 40 million they've made. So having that money automatically go into a buyback fund and using it to buy back, like automatically buying back when it makes sense tactically and strategically to buy back, it makes sense, because you don't want, like, I don't know, maybe if they buy back a certain amount, like I said, what they said made sense. If they're buying back too much and the majority of their token value is coming from them buying back, that's not real value. That's not real value at all. And having a genuine community building this up, it does create more opportunities for the long run of VV. So this fund that they have for buybacks is still going to go towards the buybacks. I just feel like it's going to go towards the buybacks when it makes the most sense. And I honestly would prefer that. But they do need to address things like this and explain it to people in a way where people can really understand and wrap their head around. It's big, man. Why doesn't 4 million of that go towards buybacks? They'd actually do at least a little on the circulating supply. Actually, it'll only really take away 615 million, which isn't much at all. At this rate, those buybacks will take 100 years to cut 1/3 of the supply, and that's what I mean. Like the buybacks is not something that should even be a concern, but the way that VV is moving right now, people are looking towards little problems like buybacks, and it's becoming bigger and bigger in their head because VV is kind of looking pretty incompetent right now. So it's tough. And that's if the price stays this low, which it won't. But from what I heard, before those 4 million are gone somehow and won't go to buybacks, that's lying in my book. So yeah, this is concerns. I feel like a lot of this stuff is going to, I feel like this stuff is going to go to buybacks. I feel like they more than likely have a buyback account, and it's just a lot of money sitting in it right now. And it's going to go there, but it's going to go there when it makes sense. Maybe they're reworking the tokenomics. Maybe they're really trying to, like, honestly, the reserve wallet, like what is the use of the reserve wallet? Is the reserve wallet really needed? Is it going to get to a point where the system runs from the circulating supply or something like that? Or does that not make sense? Like, I think that things are being reworked right now, and they can't handle so many massive problems at once. Like the MTL, like managing people's money, trying to make sure people get the right amount based on how much like the token is worth and stuff like that. Trying to make sure people get their money in their bank account, all this stuff. They're trying to make sure people's NFT gets moved over safely, it stays in their account. They're taking on some massive tasks. And I think that needs to be remembered, but at the same time, I do feel like they need to do a better job at addressing certain things, but also the community needs to do a better job at asking these questions, because the thing is, in every single AMA, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to you. Thank you for what you do for the community. And then the second that the AMA ends, why didn't nobody ask this question? Why didn't nobody ask that? What's going on with buybacks? Like, you're gonna ask these tough questions. Like, you spend 3 hours talking to them, kissing ass, then the second that it ends, you want some real answers. And this repeats week after week after week. And then, like, a lot of people don't have the right to be upset. I'm gonna be honest, but like I said, I completely understand the situation that the community's in right now. In my opinion, the token is it's not looking great right now, but it's just a momentary thing. Like, once there's more clarity around the situation, honestly, Veve, the team, could be in a place where they don't have as much clarity, because it was strange to me that Immutable said that this process would take, what, a week or so, and then they got it down to 3 hours. How the hell you do that? Like, how did you do that? Like, so something going wrong was always likely in my mind from when I heard that. You don't get a time frame that says this is going to take 7 days, and then you tell me it's going to take 3 hours. So how do you get that down like that? From like, so that didn't make sense. That didn't really add up to me from the beginning. So yeah, I don't know if there was some miscommunications there, because that's a huge time frame that's a huge thing. That's a huge ask of anybody. If you have if a certain amount of work is going to take you 7 days, and you say you can get that work done in 3 hours, how are you going to do that? So yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. I definitely want to hear your thoughts, everything that you all have to say about the situation. But yeah, this is my views on it. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. As always, be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, turn on notifications so you stay updated with everything going on. And yeah, I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out, yo.